Another big night for Russ with his 100th triple-double milestone being the icing on the cake, and some will argue Westbrook doesn't get enough credit, guys, playing in a small market. Max, should Westbrook have left OKC when he had the chance?
Yep, he should have. And I want to preface this by saying Russell Westbrook is the most polarizing player I have ever seen with my own eyes to myself. In other words, I will see him from play to play, and I'll say, during the same game, I'll say, that's the best player I've ever seen. Like, that's Michael Jordan. And in the very next play, I'll say, boy, you can't win a championship with that guy as your point guard. Like, I've never swung so wildly between two extremes watching a guy trying to gauge his value. The one thing you can say about Russell Westbrook is no fan ever got cheated showing up watching him play. His problem in the playoffs in the clutch have been that he thinks his team needs him even more. He's going to pull even harder when maybe he needs to let go of the reins a little bit and get other guys involved and trust them a little bit more. Maybe that, is a legitimate criticism of him. But he should have left OKC, and the reason is this. Clay Bennett, the owner, with whom it appears that Russell has a good relationship, is cheap, period. And the OKC market is limited, period. Now, you know who's not cheap, and you know what market's not limited? The Los Angeles Lakers. Westbrook is from the area. Jeannie Buss will spend the money. That's a family-owned business, and the Buss family will spend the money. They will spend on luxury tax. And Magic Johnson's in charge now. And that is an unlimited market with, from which you can amplify your brand. Now, if you want to, Sam Presti, Stephen A., is a great GM, but he's working within the confines that the owner gives him, the restraints that the owner gives him. The fact is, they traded James Harden. They didn't get back enough, and the reason they traded him is they didn't want to pay him. When you think about the nucleus that Clay Bennett, the owner, had in OKC, KD, Westbrook, Harden, and Ibaka all in their early 20s, and that thing got broken up with no championships to show for it, he didn't want to pay Harden. He played them cheap. Now, Westbrook has Paul George and Carmelo Anthony, and they'll do pretty well, and we all know they're not going to win a championship. And maybe he wouldn't win a championship either in L.A. But where would you rather win a championship or not win a championship? Either one. In Oklahoma City or Los Angeles for the Lakers. He should have left.
You're wrong. And the biggest reason that you're wrong is because you're looking at the Los Angeles Lakers now. You're not remembering what they were like when Jim Buss was running the show. Even though you were doing afternoon drive there, the fact of the matter is that it regressed to being an absolute embarrassment and a sideshow because the Jeannie Buss, Jim Buss dysfunctional relationship sifted through the franchise like a virus and hurt everybody. So why should Russell Westbrook want to be a part of that, particularly when up until last year he had Kevin Durant as a teammate all of these years. Keep in mind that the only time they had missed the playoffs since 2010 was when Kevin Durant only played 27 games in the 2015 season, 2014-2015 season, because of that foot injury. He had only played in 27 games. They still went 45-37, but they missed the playoffs in the Western Conference. Had they been in the East, they probably would have been like a fourth seed at that time, if I remember correctly. But they were in the Western Conference, and because of that, they missed the playoffs. Outside of that, they've been to a few conference finals. They've been to an NBA finals. They've been in position to compete for a championship, and up until last year, it was with Kevin Durant as his teammate. So, no, he should not have left. Now, if we look at the Los Angeles Lakers and we want to think about what he should have done now, keep in mind the collective bargaining agreement and what's coming to play and the fact that he just inked a new deal in excess of 200 and I think it's around 217 million. It's either 27 or 217 million contract. So you can't get that.
But it's over 200.
I think it was over 200 definitely, but it's either 207 or 217. I'm not sure though. But the point that I'm trying to make is that you can't get that in L.A. either. And so when you look at it from all of those different positions, I'm just saying to myself, if I've got a quality GM in Sam Presti, obviously James Harden's gone, Serge Ibaka's gone, Reggie Jackson's gone, now Kevin Durant's gone. That's not good. But all of those realities didn't really show itself until the last year and a half or so, which is why I supported Russell Westbrook staying.
But when we talk about Westbrook signing the when we talk about Westbrook leaving, what we really mean is at the moment he signed the extension, because he trades away his impending free agency at that moment. He didn't sign the extension until after Jim Buss was gone, Jeannie Buss was in, and Magic was in charge.
Okay.
He didn't sign the extension until after KD left. a great job replacing KD with Paul George. You practically couldn't do a better job than that. And yet, Paul George ain't KD.
Yeah, but if you're trying to win basketball games, but Magic Johnson just took over. If you're trying to win basketball games, you can't have a situation where you're going from Oklahoma City and you're a competitor to the moribund franchise that the Lakers had regressed to until Magic Johnson just came on for this season.
But I think they already had enough young talent where if you add Russell Westbrook, which also affects who you draft the whole thing, if you add Russell Westbrook, you think you can catch up pretty fast, particularly with the slew of prime time free agents coming up. But also imagine
why should he want them?
Well, imagine this for a second, Stephen A. Kobe Bryant's gone, right? Who better in the NBA to come in and give LA fans what they are missing in Kobe Bryant than
LA
Russell
and the
Westbrook?
Lakers would want that. They should want that. I'm talking about what Russell Westbrook should want at the time.
Right, but I think that given the horde of draft picks and young talent there, Magic Johnson plus cap space, it's reasonable to conclude if you're Westbrook, if I go to that team, that's also maybe attracts another free agent. We're going to be very good, very fast. And furthermore, his brand would be amplified. Could you imagine Lakers fans missing Kobe Bryant getting a triple-double from a guy who plays the game harder than anyone?
Why would you be confident in your ability to attract somebody considering the dysfunctional environment that existed, not to mention the fact that Kevin Durant just left you?
Well, because Kevin Durant and Westbrook didn't get along perfectly, maybe because Durant's the better player and Westbrook's the alpha personality. Westbrook and Paul George seem to get along just fine because the personalities also fit the talent level. But I think there are plenty of players in the NBA who'd love to play with Russell Westbrook, particularly in this Lakers environment.
You have to trust that the organization is going to be able to do something for you. And until Magic arrived, you couldn't trust the Lakers. You just couldn't.